Hello, my name is Erica Yoss, and I am the science coordinator for the district. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about where we are in terms of our curricular updates for high school science. Just a little background. Right now, we follow the state guidelines of requiring 3 science credits for graduation. However, we also require biology, chemistry, and physics to be the courses that fulfill those requirements. In 2017, we went through the process of updating our course and unit outlines, adding rubrics, and then skill-based outcomes for the biology, chemistry, and physics courses. And at that time, we did not adopt any curricular resources, and we don't have any currently beyond our AP and Project Lead the Way courses. This is our current course progression, and we're looking to stay the same. All students take a 6th and 7th grade general science course. It's a thematic progression where they get all of the standards through 3 years. At 8th grade, a few students are able to take an accelerated path where they would take the high school level biology course in their middle school during 8th grade, while most students continue on and take an 8th grade science class. From there, they can choose to go to honors biology, or traditional biology, honors chemistry, or grade level chemistry, and then in physics, they could choose either AP Physics 1 or physics to meet that grade requirement for our graduation. All students can access the honors or grade level courses regardless of where they start. They can go up and down depending on what's best for that student and at that time in their education. We also offer a variety of science electives. Many of those can be taken concurrent with other science courses depending where they are in their sequence, or they can wait and take them their senior year. Our students who do take that accelerated pathway and take biology in 8th grade do need to complete 3 science credits in high school, so they would be required to take a science elective to meet their graduation requirements. As we began our process of curriculum, we started with ladder of inference, and we want to make sure that before we make any decisions, we root ourselves in data and the research and our beliefs and our values. So this is the process we followed. We started with our theory. We rooted ourselves in the science framework, which was put out by the National Science Foundation, and then used the Teaching for Conceptual Understanding as our instructional framework. So we know from those studies that 3-dimensional learning is what we need to be focused on. All of our learning should be rooted in a disciplinary core idea, a science and engineering practice, and a cross-cutting concept. Our lessons in our instructional model should then follow a conceptual understanding process, which is generally means it's a spiraling curriculum, K-12, as well as it follows the 5E model. We already do all of those things at our K-8 level, and now we're bringing that up into our high school level as well. As we went through that research, we were able to create our mission and vision, and this is a K-12 science vision. Involves teachers from all across all levels to create this vision of what we want our students to be able to know and do when they leave our program. We really want students to be global citizens, critical consumers, and understand that it's science education, that it's progression, and we build those understandings, that spiraling concept. Our next step was to look at data. We're using, at the high school level, the ACT as our main data point for achievement. Generally, we remained fairly stagnant over the last several years, right around that 30 to 33% proficient advanced. We were starting to notice a slow uptick, and then obviously we went down during that 21 school year, and we are hoping to keep moving those gains back up to where we were. The next graph is the ACT skills breakdown. So the science portion of the exam has 3 main skill areas: models, data, and scientific investigation. This allows us to understand where we are lacking in skills and instruction and where we can build those back into our curriculum. When we look at our subgroups, it's clear that we are not meeting the needs of these subgroups. Our students are not getting what they need. And when we look through curriculum, this is something that we need to focus on to make sure that all students are succeeding, and using different resources to help different groups will help all students achieve. We also looked at our science program audit data, which is a K-12 process. So for this purpose, for high school, the survey data we looked at was perception data from the students teachers, and families. And we focus primarily on the curricularly related questions so that we could use that to help guide our work. Now, obviously, this is perception data, which is not always quantifiable, but it is valid data. And not only can we use the numbers that came out from the answers, but we can use analysis tools and Qualtrics that allow us to see were the short responses primarily positive or negative? What were some keywords that came out? I can do other keyword searches and look to see what people are saying about different things. We can compare that data to the 2016 program audit so that we can see where we're growing in different areas and where we need to maybe improve our communication or improve what we're doing in our program and see if it's meeting the needs of all of our stakeholders. So these first two questions were just generally like, for students, do you enjoy science class? And are you satisfied with the education your child is receiving? Overwhelmingly, the answers were positive, which was really a great sign. We know that people are invested and students are enjoying their time in their classes. Now we just have to translate that into what does that mean for student achievement on top of that. So to dig down deeper, we looked at these questions. These are the ones that we're focusing on for the curricular side for our high school, studying outside, studying their own questions, and learning about things that they wonder about. The research that we have shows that these are really key factors in instruction and curriculum for our students. So our goal is to keep increasing the numbers of students who are answering often or somewhat for all of these and seeing what we can do to support the teachers and the students in this work. For our teachers, we focused on do you have enough curricular materials to support yourself, which clearly is an area we're lacking. We need to help those teachers by giving them materials instead of having them all have to look for them themselves. And are you students going outside? Are you going to places in the community? And are students studying your own questions? Not only do we look at the years from prior, but we can compare this to the student and family answers to see are we just not communicating correctly? Do people have a different perception than what's happening? And it can help us improve different areas beyond just the curriculum. For our families, these are the two that really kind of connect to the curriculum. Our students learning 21st century skills and our community members and experts invited into the classroom. So again, is this happening but we're not communicating it properly, or is this something that we just need to add more? Can we bulk it up? How can we help our teachers build these things into their classroom experiences and their curriculum? So taking all of that data and all of our research, we were able to create our theory of action, which will guide us in our work for the next couple of years. We know that we need a guaranteed and viable curriculum. We want students who are global citizens, all of those things in our theory, so that they can come out and have high quality skills that can take them wherever their path will be after high school. So our goals over the next 2 years are two-pronged. The first one is because it's so important to have a K-12 spiraling framework, we are going to be working on creating a conceptual understandings framework. So for example, one conceptual understanding could be thermodynamics. What does that mean at second grade? And what does that mean at middle school? And what does that mean in high school? What are the same academic language that we're using? The idea of cold versus hot. What are those things? Heat versus thermal energy. How are we building that so that all people involved in the process are aware of the spectrum and that we're working together to create that big conceptual understanding by the time they leave our schools? And then the main work will be the second goal, which is building that high school core course curriculum. Biology, chemistry, and physics. We will be working on the course syllabus and the curricular maps, making sure we're getting high quality curricular materials for our students and our teachers, building those common assessments and rubrics, and developing our professional development plan. How are we going to launch this in these courses and support our teachers in the process? Our next steps as we move forward are to finalize our full action plan. We have our general idea where we're going, what we need to do, but we're going to make that a much more detailed plan and begin our phase 2, which is in May, where we are going to identify and analyze the resources. We know what our non-negotiables are based on the research and the data. We know what we have to include, and now we need to go and see what is out there and what we can dig into. We're going to go through that process so that by next fall, we can start that pilot process. Our goal is to use that summertime to really dig into the high quality resources and figure out what is best for our classes and for our students. We want to give ourselves as much time to pilot it so we don't limit our options and limit our times to work with that curriculum. So I look forward to talking to you more about this at the next meeting.